A little over a year ago, I made a promise. The promise was that I'd make a random gun from the comments, and the gun that won was the chess gun. I didn't want to make it at first. Why? I mean, imagine fighting for your life and all you have is a cheeseburger. No ammo, no sword, just a Big Mac and blind faith. You'd be more than cooked at that point. But since I am a man of my word, I am going to make it and put it in CureX. Fast forward, I made only one video on it and got almost nowhere with it. That was also 7 months ago, and I've improved a lot since then. My scripting is better, my VFX have gone better, and my patience has gone from 0 to at least 3. So this gun is about to be a banger. But wait, that's not all sunshine and roses. Nuh-uh. Because I had to make the executive decision of switching from guns to clans. So the chess gun turned into the sad old leftover takeout on the back of your fridge that you swear you'll eat tomorrow, but never do. Looking back at the comment, you can see it only has 2 abilities. But in my opinion, a clan should have around 5 abilities. So let's start with the first ability, which just throws a cheeseburger. But since it's a legendary clan, I need to make it better. So I decided I wanted to add a ricochet feature because for a legendary clan, you can't just have a cheeseburger flying towards your enemy. That's not called an ability, that's called giving lunch to the poor. Next, I gave it a yellow and red trail. Why red and yellow, you may ask? That's because of the ketchup and mustard in it. You can't see it in the picture, but trust me, it's there. So I entered Studio and used the original model of the cheeseburger, since you can't really go wrong with the OG. Then I did the basics, added the tool, scripted it so that only if you click a button with the tool equipped it will activate, and lastly added a small cooldown to keep world hunger from going extinct. Next, I made the burger shoot out of your hand because we need to feed the poor. So next, I made the burger ricochet off the NPCs like your girlfriend dumping you for a 6-foot guy who plays basketball. I'm sorry, Jacob, you deserved better. I needed to make the logic with some very, very complicated math, so I made a new project and made the ricochet logic using raycasting and managed to crash Studio. If you want to learn the basics of raycasting, or at least listen to me explaining raycasting, check out this video up here, where I briefly explained what raycasting is. Anyways, I migrated the logic into the main project, and after making some changes so that it will actually work for the chess clan, I decided to test it, and after making some more changes, I tested it again, and so after digging through some more, I realized that I was bound to the cheeseburger. Better said, I forgot to destroy the weld constraint. What is a weld constraint, you may ask? Learning Roblox with Rip Guardian. The weld constraints. Weld constraints are kind of like super glue, but like times a million. It's so strong, in fact, that I became one with the burger. And since my script makes the cheeseburger fly, but I'm super glued to the burger, well, obviously I fly with the burger. So after destroying the weld constraint, it worked fine. Now I needed some sound effects. So I looked through my sound effects folder, like searching for the phone charger at 2 a.m. while slowly questioning all my life choices. After searching for the one piece of sound effects, I finally found some sound effects that didn't sound like toasting a potato. So now here's the final showcase. You think I'm done? No. We still have 5 minutes left in the video. So instead of running away from my problems and procrastinating for the next 3 hours, I decided to make the second ability, the cheeseburger nuke. America wishes they had this nuke. So I start off with the same cheeseburger model, since You can't exactly wear two different pairs of socks and not look weird. For this ability, I wanted to use impact frames so that the human brain will genuinely lag and go, oh, well, I'm just dead. So I made the impact frames quicker than America conquering land for oil. Next, I needed some VFX, so I made a very simple explosion VFX. Nothing crazy, something just enough to make it look like a cheeseburger committed several war crimes. Then I had to script everything together. But I wanted to make a throw aim system. So after applying complex physics, I made it work. And since I worked so hard on it, I'm going to explain it to you guys in a non-complicated way. Learning physics with Rip Guardian. Projectile motion. I'd never thought I'd be teaching physics in a devlog video. What am I doing? So, if you throw a ball, you exert force onto it, but gravity also pulls it down at the same time, with a different amount of force. The heavier the object, the more force gravity exerts on it. This is shown pretty well in Newton's second law. Force is equal to mass times acceleration. So now, let's call the force you exert on the ball force player, and force gravity the force that gravity exerts on the ball. Let's say the ball weighs 500 grams or 0.5 kilograms, and you throw it with an acceleration of 100 meters a second square. That means you are exerting a force of 50 newtons on the ball. And since gravity is a constant of around 9.81 meters a second square, we apply the same formula to see that gravity exerts a force of 4.905 newtons, but this force is constant. The force we exert on the ball at the very beginning is only one time, meaning the second the ball leaves our hands, we don't exert any more force on it, and the acceleration is now its velocity or speed. But gravity is still exerting its force on the ball and pushing it downward, and as soon as the upward velocity from our throw is fully reduced down to 0 or nil by gravity, then the ball will start falling downwards after hitting its peak, giving us a path which looks something like this. So I just applied that same logic in Roblox and made the aiming system. And I'm no professional at physics, so please double check all the information before using it somewhere important like a test. Now, back in Roblox, I used the script I made before and made the cheeseburger shoot. It was crashing Studio for some reason, so I dug deeper and reduced the amount of parts spawning in at once. Still didn't seem to fix the crashes, so I restarted my PC thinking it was a local problem. But Roblox Studio kept on crashing. So after using a bit of my brain, I realized that I was literally nuking, carpet bombing, destroying the Roblox Studio servers with the amount of parts I spawned in and how much physics the server had to calculate every 1/60th of a second, whilst also calculating everything else going on within the world. So I moved the logic over to the local script so that the aiming thing would now be the player's problem and not the server's, which seemed to fix it. Next, I scripted the timing, the damage, and the impact frames, and, well, of course, the part where the burger actually explodes instead of getting Thanos snapped out of existence. Lastly, I added the sound effects and some final touches, so here's the final showcase. Alright, let's launch the Ches nuke at this NPC and see if he survives. That should do. And yeah, there's no chance yeah, okay. The server lagged, but he's dead. That's all from me. Till next time.